Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the next episode of the Q&A. Episode, really? We're calling it episodes now? Just the next part of the Q&A. Where I continue to answer more of your questions that you sent me as part of the 75,000 subscriber special Q&A thing. So far, we've gotten through very few questions in what was well over half an hour. So let us continue without further ado. Mythic Tom asks, if you wasn't doing this, what job do you think you'd have and could see yourself doing? I don't know. I've been doing this for such a long time now, it's almost difficult to imagine myself doing anything else. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I might be doing some sort of game design job, since that's what I did at university. Maybe I'd be doing writing. Maybe I would have become a pilot, as in like an airline pilot or something, or I don't know, something like that. I'm trying to think what my other interests are and where else I could see myself doing things. And the answer is it's very difficult to say, because I started doing this such a long time ago. By this point right now, my life would have diverged so much from where it's ended up now. It's almost difficult. It's almost impossible to say where I would have ended up. I could have fucking ended up working in a call center somewhere and hating life in general, quite possibly. So, yeah, who knows? The optimistic outcome is that I got a job doing something interesting, but more likely outcome is I probably got a job doing something absolutely horrible, because that's what happens to most people, unfortunately. That's why I consider myself quite lucky to do this, even though the pay is garbage. At least I enjoy it. So, who's next? Laserbeam134 asks, will you do a Let's Play of Starfield or the Elder Scrolls 6 when they're released? It's so early to say. I can't say. I've literally no idea. I don't even know what Starfield is like or is about, other than something involving space. The Elder Scrolls 6 is so far away, it's still in pre-production, for fuck's sake. I'm amazed still a little bit that they even bothered to announce it, quite frankly, at E3, because it is so far away. It's still in pre-production, which means, if you're not familiar with pre-production, it means that they're literally still doing fucking concept art for it. That's how early along the pipeline Elder Scrolls 6 is. That's why they didn't even announce a title for the damn game. They literally just put Elder Scrolls 6 on the thing, because that's how early in the process they are. So, considering how fucking far away Elder Scrolls 6 is, to all of you who are asking me, will you do a Let's Play of it when it comes out? I don't know. This channel might not even exist by the time the Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. Who frickin' knows, man? That's way too far ahead to plan for, frankly. So yeah, I have no idea is the answer to that one. Same goes for Starfield, honestly. I mean, that's a lot closer than the Elder Scrolls 6, but since I know absolutely nothing about Starfield, and nobody else knows anything about Starfield other than it's a Bethesda game in space, I have no idea. Yeet Mister asks, when will Skyrim... Watch the channel update video, man. Watch the channel update video, man. Actually, no, he's asking about... To be fair, you're asking about Skyrim. You're not asking about Morrowind and Oblivion. I apologize. It's really hot in here. I'm kind of tired. Please forgive me. Please forgive my mistakes. When will Skyrim come back? I kind of already answered this in the previous video at some point, and it will probably be beyond Skyrim, Bruma, or whatever. So, Benjamin Hissig asks, going to play Morrowind multiplayer with subscribers or friends? I streamed Morrowind multiplayer with Variax once. We may do it again someday. Not with subscribers, though. Sorry, it's not that I don't like or appreciate you guys. It's just I'm very, very, very fucking selective about who I play multiplayer games with. So, with random subscribers, sorry, no. That's not happening. The thing about Morrowind multiplayer was, as well, is that it wasn't nearly as fun. Personally, I didn't find it nearly as fun as I thought I would. I remember thinking for years and years and years and years and years oh, it'd be so great if I could play Morrowind co-op with someone. And then I finally did play Morrowind co-op with someone. And this is not a reflection on Variax, by the way, because Variax has a very, very similar approach to how we play these games, how we play Morrowind. We both adore Morrowind. We both love to roleplay in it, all that sort of garbage. But when we both sat down to play it together, it was just, you know, all kind of serious role-playing just immediately went completely out of the window, and we ended up just dicking around, and it got a little bit boring after a while. I mean, it was fun, but it's not something we decided it's not something we wanted to regularly commit to, if you see my point. It was an interesting, kind of eye-opening thing, really, to me, because of so many people who have always been like, oh, I want multiplayer in a Bethesda game, and eventually you've got it now, because you've got Fallout 76 on the way, but having actually played a Bethesda game with multiplayer, personally, I think it's extremely overrated, honestly. I didn't think much of it, actually, in the end. It was all right for a bit of a laugh for one evening, but it's not something I'd play all the time. So, yeah. Right. Paulius the Mad asks, was there really fan fiction about Fathers and Julan written? I don't know for certain, because it's not something I actively seek out, you know, for what should be pretty fucking obvious reasons. I think there was some fan art done that was a bit, you know, I didn't personally see it. Someone posted a link to it one day in my Discord saying, oh god, look what someone did. And I didn't click the link, and I'm glad I didn't, based on what I've heard about it. So, yeah, there are some weird people out there. But, you know what? Whatever floats your boat, right? I guess if someone's doing, like, slash fic of something you've done creatively, it probably means you're a success officially, right? Like, if someone's Rule 34'd your shit, it means you've probably done something right, I suppose. It's like a badge of you've officially succeeded in life. If you've created something that someone can Rule 34, I suppose you've made it, you know? I'm trying to look at this positively. I'm desperately trying to look at this positively. But anyway. So yeah, I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen it. I hope never to see it, frankly, because it would be a little bit disturbing. But, yeah. That's apparently a thing that exists out there somewhere. I don't know where. I don't want to know where. Please don't spam me with links to it, please. Royal Flush 270 asks, Fallout New Vegas LP continuation. Watch the channel update video, please. But yes, it is continuing soon. I am actively working on it. Right this week, in fact, I have been working on it. Please be patient, guys. Asmira asks, what kind of book series do you tend to favor, and does it ever influence your character backstories? Again, it's a bit like the movie question, isn't it? I tend to favor good books. So the books I tend to read, I suppose, fall into a couple of categories. I mean, one, I tend to read boatloads of sci-fi. I read a bit of fantasy, and I read quite a lot of non-fiction, sort of history books. And that's what I tend to read. It's for a specific kind of series that I tend to favor. I don't really favor series. I'm happy to read a one-off individual book just as much as I'm happy to read some sort of trilogy or 50-part series. It doesn't matter to me, just as long as it's good. T-Trum asks, when will Sir David Crumpington return? Soon! Stop asking! And I need to scroll up again. Okay. Mass Van Hulzen asks, what game would you really like to play on the channel, but you can't or won't for whatever reason? Well, let's see. There are a few games. Because you would think, based on my content here on this channel, for example, that all I ever play is Bethesda games. You would be very wrong. I play a lot of games. A hell of a lot of games. In fact, you probably just even assume that I play mostly RPGs. That's not even the case either, actually. My interest in whatever types of games I want to play comes and goes with the tides. You know, sometimes I really want to get stuck into a good RPG. Other times, oh my god, I can't deal with an RPG right now. I can't deal with all these fucking stats and numbers and and bad writing and stupid glitchy quests and it just makes me want to tear my hair out. Usually at that point I'll be just like, right, I just want to fuck off and play an FPS. Like, I'm gonna go play Call of Duty or something. Fuck it, or play a racing game or something like that. Like, I'll boot up F1 2017 or whatever and just do a few laps around Silverstone, or something like that. But as for stuff that I would enjoy playing but probably won't ever do on the channel, I suppose I'll probably never do Flight Sim on this main channel again. I very briefly attempted that, and that was like, no, that's not going to work. Flight Sim is aviation in general, but also flight simming is a big hobby of mine. It has been for many, many years. It's a huge sort of part of my life, is that kind of hobby side of things. But I would probably never put it on here because people just would not be interested. It's so far off brand compared to my usual stuff on this channel that people would just probably unsubscribe in disgust, quite frankly, if anyone even watched it to begin with. So I do some Flight Sim stuff occasionally on my Twitch channel, but even then it's not on like scheduled streaming days. It's like an extra thing that I do occasionally when I have time, as a sort of spare time hobby type venture. It's not even like a scheduled regular thing. I don't consider it part of my job. I consider it something I do in my spare time, is streaming Flight Sim at this point. So yeah, that's something that would probably never go on here. Racing games probably would also never go on here. I don't think I'd be able to provide any decent commentary for them, quite frankly, even though I enjoy playing them, and also I don't think people would really be interested in watching them. So even though I do love driving games of all sorts, I don't think people would be very, very interested in it. And frankly, there are some games like that that are better suited to streaming. For example, Euro Truck, I've long figured out, is much better for streaming because I like to be able to have the chat there to have a natter with as I go driving around on the roads and stuff, as opposed to if you're doing it for a YouTube video where you have to sit there and desperately come up with topics to talk about. So, you know, yeah. There are loads of games like that I would probably never do on this channel for various reasons. Those are some examples. Mike Fierro asks, says, currently binge watching Claudius. I'm on season 5, episode 30. Keep up the good work, Dave. Nice to know he's living a lavish life now. He is indeed. Yeah, he's got it pretty good. But hey, hell, he earned it, right? Philippe Lagerquist asks, will you do a Let's Play on the Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 76? Already answered this question. Moving on. AJ Rodinsky asks, now that SPV3 is done, do you think you'll do MechWarrior 4 Mercenaries? That is such an oddly specific suggestion. Like, is there some sort of connection between SPV3 and MechWarrior 4 that I was unaware of? Because the way you say that makes it sound like it's the most natural thing in the world. I've never played a MechWarrior game in my life. I don't really intend to start right now, so I guess the answer is no, sorry. I'm far more likely to play Halo 2 than MechWarrior 4 Mercenaries. Yeah. Interesting suggestion. Moving on. Michael Hinkson says, first off, thank you for all you do. Been watching since Idris and love this channel. Would you ever consider doing an LP of either Call of Duty, the brackets the World War II ones, or Star Wars The Dark Forces / Jedi Knight series? Well, as for the Star Wars Dark Forces Jedi Knight stuff, I played a bit of those games ages ago. I never liked them that much, though. Sorry. That's probably not something you want to hear, but I don't really like those games very much. The one exception was the Movie Battles mod for Jedi Academy, I think it was, which I played multiplayer with some friends at a LAN party for a couple of years once. On 2 occasions each year over a couple of years. That sounds really weird the way I phrased that. I could have done that, but never mind. But yeah, I played the Movie Battles mod for that in multiplayer, and that was really good fun. But aside from that, it was never really that into the Jedi Academy, Jedi Knight games. My brother was. He played them to death. It was not my cup of tea, though, exactly. So, yeah, probably not. As for Call of Duty, the World War II ones, maybe. I mean, they're not bad, the World War II ones. Although, to be honest with you, if I was going to do a Let's Play of a Call of Duty single-player game, it would probably be Call of Duty 4, because it has the best single-player Call of Duty campaign ever, in my honest opinion. Don't at me. Whatever. But no, I don't think that's a particularly controversial opinion either. Actually, I think Call of Duty 4 is widely regarded as having the best single-player campaign out of all of those games. Obviously, if you're a super massive World War II nerd and you don't even want to touch anything that's related to Modern Warfare, probably you'll prefer the World War II ones, obviously. But for me, even though I am a bit of a World War II nerd, I still think Modern Warfare had the best campaign that Call of Duty has done and probably will ever do, to be honest. It was outstanding. It was really good. Call of Duty 4 was just a very good game. I even played a bit of the multiplayer in Call of Duty 4. That's how much I enjoyed that game, which is saying a lot because I don't normally go for that sort of thing. But yeah, no, if I was going to let's play a Call of Duty single-player campaign, it would be COD 4 first, and then I'd think about some of the others afterwards, I think. Certainly Cyrix asks, have you ever been close to quitting Twitch streaming or YouTube entirely? I've never considered quitting Twitch streaming. I have always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed streaming. It's never not been fun, to be honest with you. Anytime I've been streaming and I've maybe not been having the greatest time ever, it was literally just a case of I'll stream a different game then, and that always fixes the problem. That streaming is something. Even if I won the fucking lottery and moved to, the fucking Cayman Islands or something, I don't know, some place where rich people go, I would still stream on Twitch because I enjoy it that much. It's just great fun. Even if I was sitting there in my luxury yacht, in my Bermuda shorts, smoking an expensive cigar, I'd still stream, like every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday probably, because it's just good fun. I enjoy it that much. As for YouTube, yeah, there have been a few times where I've been like, is this really worth doing? Should I quit? Should I go find a different job? Should I actually, try and get a job that pays me a hell of a lot more than this does? I've never ever managed to cross the point where I was like, yep, no, I've got to stop. I've got to leave this behind. Plenty of people have left and stopped doing YouTube, but some people that I actually know, other Let's Players that I was familiar with and spoke to and watched their videos of, they've just gone. They've moved on to greener pastures and stuff. I've come close on a few occasions to deciding to do that as well, but obviously I'm still here, so I've obviously not actually done it yet. I don't particularly foresee myself doing it anytime soon, because the way things are going right now are reasonably okay, in spite of Google's best efforts to destroy their own platform week in, week out. It seems to have somehow managed to stick around anyway, and it's not doing too bad. The whole adpocalypse thing was a fascinating spanner in the works, but at the end of the day, the folks on Patreon managed to make up for it, actually. That and also Twitch made up for it, so yeah, there's your answer. Twitch, never considered stopping. I love it. YouTube, yes, there have been a few occasions where I've thought about, should I continue with this, or should I basically go seek out some other career path before it's too late, effectively. And in the end, I've stuck with YouTube, and I'm kind of glad I did. I don't know where else I'd be right now if I wasn't doing it. So, Anyway, all that coulda, woulda, shoulda stuff it's not very healthy to dwell on that anyway, I feel. I think you should just focus on what's in front of you. So, moving along, Chivels says, if you've got a chance, would you ever consider doing a collaboration with another YouTuber like Gopher, for example? I think that SorcererDave and Gopher collab would be extremely cool, and I'd watch the hell out of it. Congrats on 75,000 subs. I apologize if you've been asked this before. I'm still relatively new to this channel. I do occasionally do collabs, but it's with people I already know, I already trust, I've already spoken to, I already have a good rapport with. People like Variax, for example, who I know I can produce a good video with. Gopher is a guy that I have spoken to on a few occasions. He's given me some technical advice occasionally behind the scenes, but my correspondences with him have been very limited. I wouldn't consider him like a friend or anything like that. He's just sort of an acquaintance. I wouldn't even say a colleague, really, at this point. So, and to be honest, he's a massive YouTuber. He's fucking huge compared to me, tiny old little old me. He's a busy guy. He's probably got other shit to do rather than do a collab with some Burke like me. And more to the point, I think as well. Gopher, I don't know what we'd play because Gopher and I have, aside from Bethesda games, Gopher and I have extremely different tastes in gaming. You know, I've said all that stuff about how I hate playing multiplayer games. Gopher adores multiplayer games. He loves it. Plays it all the time on his Twitch channel. All that kind of stuff, like Payday and things like that. Like oh God, no, please, no, I don't want to play anything like that, quite frankly. So, I think we'd struggle to find something to actually play collab with each other, to be honest with you. Even if I was willing to go and ask him, which I'm probably not, because I can't think of anything to play with him, and plus he's probably too busy to do anything with me anyway. So, I'd be more inclined to go and ask someone like Variax to do a collab thing with me, because Variax and me play very similar games, and we're good mates, and we get on well, and we generally tend to make good videos when we do collab videos. So yeah, Anas, and Anas is how it's spelled. I'm not sure how I'm meant to pronounce it, but anyway, that person, you know who you are. You're asking any Paradox games in the future? Maybe, yeah. You know, Paradox games are those things you sort of occasionally get that itch to play every now and again. I think next time I do get an itch to play Paradox games, I will try and record a playthrough of it or something like that. I reckon maybe Stellaris might be a thing at some point. Actually, I think I was planning on streaming Stellaris at some point. But also Hearts of Iron 4 with or without the Kaiserreich mod for it. Because I played Kaiserreich, the original Kaiserreich mod, ages ago on my channel when I was just first getting started out. I've done 3 playthroughs of that game now. Only two of them were completed. One was gone. Well, one had to be cancelled because the game kept crashing to desktop on a specific date, which I couldn't get around, which is really annoying. But whatever. That's what you play when that's what you get when you play with a buggy mod that's in beta at the end of the day. But would I? Yeah, I think it'd probably be something like Hearts of Iron 4 because Crusader Kings 2 is great, but it's sort of like it could quickly take over your life because of how long a playthrough of Crusader Kings 2 can be. Hearts of Iron 4 is nice because you can play through an entire campaign in like a couple of days. I quite like that about the game. I know a lot of people don't. They like to be super duper ultra hardcore and spend months playing the same campaign. I don't. I like the fact that Hearts of Iron 4 you can play in a couple of evenings. So that's probably what I'd likely play because I'm not really into Europa Universalis, to be honest. Because that's their other big thing. So yeah, it'd probably be Stellaris or Hearts of Iron 4, I imagine. And if I did Hearts of Iron 4, I guess I'd probably do Kaiserreich because everyone wants me to, apparently. So yeah, next time I feel like doing that sort of thing, I will see if I can record a quick series of it. Right, I need to scroll up again through more of the comments. Okay, David Ship asks, what got you interested in making Let's Plays, and where are Patsy's coconuts, Dave? I'm disappointed. As for Patsy's coconuts, well, you know, very stealthy coconuts, all right? Very, she's remarkably good at hiding the coconuts. But they're there. You can hear them if you listen very closely. They're in the saddlebags, basically, is what I'm trying to tell you. And what got me interested in making Let's Plays? Basically watching other people do Let's Plays and thinking to myself, I could do this. And I could put my own spin on it too. And that's the reason I end up doing lots of stuff. It's one of the reasons I write short stories and things. I don't think I've obviously never published any of them because I'm really bad at finishing stories that I write, unfortunately. I've got dozens of introductions for stuff written out there, very few endings, unfortunately. But that's one of the reasons I write things, like, because I see something and I'm like, I could write like that, but I could do my own spin on it. I reckon I could maybe even do that better, as a matter of fact, and that's what motivates me to do a lot of the things that I do. And Let's Playing was no exception. I saw other people doing Let's Plays. I enjoyed watching them, but I thought to myself, I reckon I could do that better. It's not a competitive thing. I don't want to I don't want to sort of say that I'm better than other YouTubers, because even though I say I reckon I could do it better, I don't think I usually succeed, to be honest. So, you know, but that's quite often my motivation for doing stuff is seeing something I like and thinking either, you know, I reckon I could do it better, or I'd like to see that done differently, and no one else is doing it, so I will do it myself. Or sometimes there's a type of content I want to see or read or whatever, and it doesn't exist, and I want it to exist, so therefore I have to do it myself. That's occasionally something that comes along with that, and I think the More Oblivion playthrough that I originally did back in the day is probably an example of that, because there are virtually no playthroughs of More Oblivion around, and I was like, I want to see a playthrough of More Oblivion, but there isn't any really. There was like one by some guy from ages ago. So I was like, fuck it, I will do one then. I will do a More Oblivion playthrough, because no one else is apparently, so you know. That's kind of why I do these things, I suppose. Dalek Sar Supreme 1 asks, well, it says, I'm about to play Morrowind for the first time. I would like to try to roleplay through the whole game, but I'm struggling to come up with a character concept that I think I'll stick with. Could you give me one off the top of your head? Okay, well, how about a monk who previously was an alcoholic and one day accidentally burned down the temple that they were, you know, supposed to be a part of, and believes themselves to be cursed by whatever god it was whose temple they burned down. There you go. There's a character concept for you. Enjoy. So, although I don't know if you really want to play a monk in Morrowind, because that means you'd have to do unarmed combat, which might suck, because unarmed combat in Morrowind's a bit wonky. But hey, maybe use a staff or something, you know, a quarterstaff type thing. But whatever. Alchemist Thrace asks, what would your favorite companion/companions be from the Fallout franchise? Well, definitely not Vic. Fucking hell, that guy killed me more times than I think that the actual enemies in the game did. Guy is very fond of friendly fight. Was it Vic? I'm sure it was Vic. I think it was Vic. Yeah. From Fallout 1. What a dickhead. He constantly shot me instead of the enemy. It was really annoying. Favorite companion/companions? Good question. There's so many to choose from, isn't there? Well, I mean, bad motherfucker, obviously. Obviously a bad motherfucker, but in all seriousness. I mean, almost all of the guys from Fallout New Vegas were incredible, weren't they, really? Veronica's great. Love Veronica. She's an absolute peach. Downright hilarious most of the time, and just had a really cool side mission. So, Veronica's great. Who else? Oh, fuck, I can't remember. Raoul? Raoul's awesome. Raoul's really cool. Boone was kind of great. He was a bit of a downer to have around all the time, but his personal sort of side story thing was absolutely heartbreaking. So he gets an honorable mention in my book, honestly. Obviously, there's Marcus from Fallout 2, voiced by Michael Dorn. I can't not mention him. Marcus was fucking great. And well, Arcade Gannon's pretty great as well from Fallout New Vegas. He's a cool dude. Arcade's awesome. And anyone else? You'll notice I've not mentioned anyone from a Bethesda Fallout game. That's deliberate. Although, okay, look, I'll be honest. All right. To be fair, what's her name? Fucking goddamn it, can't remember now. Strong in Fallout 4 is pretty hilarious. Was his name Strong? See, it speaks a lot that I can't even remember the name of the fucking NPC. Yeah, there you go. Fallout 4. Great, brilliant. But I think he was called Strong, the super mutant. It was always, who was after the milk of human kindness. He amused me, I suppose. So I guess, yeah, there you go. If I'm forced at gunpoint to pick an NPC companion from a Bethesda Fallout, yeah, him, I suppose. Him and anyone else? I don't think Fallout 3, but there weren't really a lot of companions in Fallout 3. I guess it was Forks. Forks was okay, but very, 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 very underdeveloped. Again, I'm even struggling to remember the names of the names of some of the NPCs from the Bethesda Fallouts. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop trying. So yeah, there you go. Moving along. Austin Cope asks, any plans to look at any other Halo Custom Edition mods and custom campaigns like SOI's single-player adventures and mod and the Lumoria campaign? Will you also be doing either the SPV3 TSCE, left out the level progression, Silent Cartographer Reimagined, I think is what he means. I am thinking about doing as a bonus episode to tack onto the SPV3 playlist. Yes, I am thinking of going back and doing the Silent Cartographer Reimagined. Yes, that is something I am considering doing. As for that other stuff, probably not, to be honest with you. I hate to sound like a sort of a little bit snobbish or something, or even like a bit of a Philistine, quite frankly. But if it's not by Bungie, I'm probably not interested in playing it. Sorry. I know I am going to play Halo 2 on the channel at some point, and that'll probably be the next Halo thing you see from me, with the exception of, as I said, a bonus episode of the Silent Cartographer Reimagined. So yeah. As for all the upcoming 3.2, he says, which will include that and a bunch of new levels and fixes. Probably no. I'm not going to do, and I think it would drive a lot of my subscribers who aren't into Halo completely fucking mental if I did another playthrough of SPV3 again this soon. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Sorry. Lilo asks, have you given any thought to continuing Claudius' story with mod? Yeah, we've already answered this. The Skeptical Space Marine asks, would you ever do a stream with Gopher or Che? I think we've kind of already answered this. I don't even know who Che is, for one thing. So that's unlikely. And as for Gopher, we already answered that. And Preston Flo also asks, what's your thoughts on Fallout 76? And we've already answered that too. So, we're coming up on 33 minutes here, it looks like. Yep, 34 minutes. I'm going to cut the video here. I will see you in part 3 of the Q&A answers. So, yeah. And at some point, the sun's going to come up here in Skyrim, presumably, because it seems like it's been nighttime forever now. I don't know what my bloody timescale's set to, but apparently it's pretty fucking slow. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video, folks. So, yeah, toodle pip.